So GoLoot today is very simply what we believe to be the advertising experience of tomorrow. It's what you as a consumer and as a user will experience in advertising tomorrow. I started with the mission to change the way we engage with mobile ads by focusing on the experience, the H factor, that's happiness, focusing on the relationship between users and brands and how to create meaningful interactions and advocacy on a user standpoint. There's such a disconnect between user interest and advertising formats in this world. Video ads are shitty. Interstitial ads are shitty. Facebook ads suck. Twitter ads suck. Sponsored ads suck. Everything sucks in advertising. And that's because nobody's thinking about what the user and or consumer actually wants at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we do at GoLoot.
Now this is, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to finish. Yeah. So we've built a format that allows brands, local and or international, to reach users in millions of mobile experiences around the world and create those interactions with those consumers that result in purchase. It's a full advertising cycle from impression to purchase, and we enable the entire process.
Now, in terms of mobile advertising, it is mostly only mobile right now.
It is exclusively mobile as of right now, but this doesn't mean that our ambition cannot go beyond.
Of course.
Who knows?
Now, which environment are we talking about? Are we talking about all like social media apps, websites, or games?
Social media apps and advertising are natively managed. That means that the platform itself, like Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, have their own advertising technology, and they run their own ads and they manage their own demand. It's a unique supply environment where the only publisher is the app itself. Now, there are millions of mobile games, close to 2 million, I believe, on the Apple Store that need advertising on a daily basis. There are millions of fitness apps, streaming apps, finance apps, food apps that need mobile advertising to monetize their user base. And that's exactly where GoLoot comes in. We're not the only players in this huge landscape. There are hundreds of companies around the world that are fighting for this advertising space. The only thing I believe they misunderstand is users want ads that are meaningful, that bring them value, that create interactions that are valuable and meaningful. Again, other words that I use, create interactions that have a happy outcome.
Right, because in the end, there's nothing wrong with ads. They could get you what you need. They're letting you know what you could need, where you could get it, and they're also most of the time they're paying for the app that you're using.
The concept of advertising is not wrong. Advertising is essential. It's the lifeblood of capitalism. There's absolutely nothing you can do without advertising, and it's the oldest business in the world. And aside from prostitution, but anyway, second oldest business in the world, advertising. We don't preach that there's something wrong with the concept of advertising. We preach there's something wrong about the way advertising is being done in 2020. Because what happened is in the last 11 years, mobile devices have been around for 11 years, iPhone, smart devices. iPhone came out in 2009. So it's not that long. In the last 11 years, the advertising landscape on mobile has shifted its focus towards brands and the collection of data, not so much on the user experience. And back in the 1970s, 1960s, the Mad Men's, or as you've seen the TV show,
a little bit,
is actually a funny slang for ad men, advertising men, people in New York who worked in advertising, but they were legit mad. Like they were fucked up in the way they did ads, and they promoted the Pepsi Colas, the Nikes, the Unilever that you know today. They created every single principle and concept in advertising. And the slogan they came up with, it's in the first episode of Mad Men, the TV show, is advertising is about happiness. And they are so right. And in the last 11 years, everybody forgot about that statement because we've moved into passive advertising where the user's experience and choice is completely ignored for the benefit of what the brand wants, the data that we need to collect, the targeting that has become hyper-targeting that now feels sketchy and scammy. Like, what the fuck? Do you hear me when I talk in my kitchen? Because I get on my computer and I see those ads, right? So there's this whole play that GoLoot is after to create this mobile advertising experience that will matter to consumers around the world. That's exactly what we're after.
Yeah, and ads are getting more and more aggressive too, invasive, because there's so many competition out there, I guess. Especially mobile games. Now, I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I could play a game and have no ads and just have fun in the game. Now, every 30 seconds, I get bombarded by this other thing. You can virtually not play mobile games anymore.
Well, because mobile games, the freemium model, which is that mobile games are free, and then they try to convert users into premium, so paying users, was popularized late in the 2010s, something like in 2014, 15. But the initial games that came out on iPhone, by the way, the first games that came out on iPhone were actually web games, because the Apple Store didn't support games. So there was no games before that. But once Apple made a move for games, these games, you had to pay for them the same way you would pay for console and PC games. And mobile games became the most popular way and most casual way to get gaming experiences, and that turned them into free to download so that they could be democratized, and try to convince the user afterwards to pay. And that is extremely hard to do. And so very smart men and women built the concept of monetization, which is to generate recurrent revenue out of non-paying users. And the only way to do that is through advertising. And so if a company like Ketchup that does these hyper casual games want to generate more and more revenue, they have to increase the number of ads or increase the value of those ads. So it's pretty easy to understand.
Of course.
The issue is now we're in 2020. There are 5 billion mobile device owners. About 2.3 billion people play mobile games all the time around the world. 2/3 of Canadians and 2/3 of Americans play mobile games as we speak. And ads have become this necessity in mobile games, but we don't really know what to do with them now, because we can't increase their value because the results are flat, and we can't increase them in quantity because users hate them. So what the fuck do? We do GoLoot.
Right. The current model, the current situation is that we're reaching kind of this plateau, right, of effectiveness.
Exactly.
So how does
yeah, go ahead.
So what exact? I don't know how secret you have to keep this since your launch is coming next quarter, but what exactly is the position or the perspective that GoLoot is going at?
Yes. So I don't really have to keep this a secret. I can give you some information. GoLoot is going to provide product-driven advertising that's all about rewarding the users for its interactions.
Okay.
So every time that you will engage with the ad, you will be rewarded, whether it's with in-game or in-app currency, or with discounts, promotions, gift cards that'll be attached to the product you want to buy, that are exclusive to you. And we have created a unique technology that will allow you to take action on the ad in a meaningful way. That means to be able to save it to your wallet, to be able to share it with friends, to be able to buy it instantly without having to leave to a shitty e-com website.
Right.
That's everything that we have built. So it's a convenient, meaningful, advantageous experience for users. And we can even power with that with video ads. So there's a lot of directions we can go into, but this is exactly what's GoLoot's going to be doing. Product-driven, reward-based advertising.
Reminds me, I guess you can say a really, really simple base model that exists right now is that you watch this 10-second clip, you get a second live in your little game, stuff like that. And this is now going to taking this, but growing it as much as you could.
It's going to the next level where you will watch your 10 seconds video and then you dismiss it, which is what 95% of people do, even closer to 99. There are no exact statistics on that, but we know that the engagement rates and click-through rates in mobile advertising is horribly low, because when you watch a video, put yourself in your shoes, like close your eyes, imagine yourself watching a shitty video of a stupid game because you don't really see brand advertising. And then at the end, they ask you to download the app. Who the fuck's going to download this shitty app? Nobody. No, that's the truth. And if it's a brand advertising, they're going to ask you to click on learn more. Who the fucks want to learn more?
Right, I want to get back to my fucking game.
I asked that question. Who wants to learn more? Who wants to shop now after watching a video ad. No, that's the truth. And it's exactly what we're after.
Right.
If we were able to bridge that gap between e-com and ad to give you products, promotion, discount, things that actually matter to you and are hyper-targeted, and that you can take action on without having to leave your game experience and get through the whole shebang of discovering an e-com website, then if we can do that, this is where the future of mobile advertising lays. And then there are so many opportunities once you open up those doors. But there's a status quo in advertising, and there are processes, there are ways that people do stuff. And so we had to came into this industry and bust the doors and say, let's change this up. Let's literally flip it upside down, because you guys are focusing on the brands while you should be focusing on the users. And it's what we've convinced large groups to do right now. And that's why we're able to bring this product to market.
Doesn't sound too crazy to me. Doesn't sound too crazy. To learn more about Lucas Béland's full story on how he became a full-time entrepreneur and startup founder at 19, go to episode 9 with Lucas Béland.